Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world full of voices, interruptions, and judgments. Every day, someone will cut you off in traffic, question your choices, or throw careless words your way. But the truth is this: no one can make you angry unless you hand them that power. Control what you can, release what you can't. This principle is simple to understand but difficult to live by. Each day we wake up, and the world unfolds in ways we do not predict. People act in ways that surprise us, frustrate us, sometimes even hurt us. Events unfold that are far beyond our choosing. A delayed train, a rude comment, a closed door to an opportunity we worked hard for. If we cling to the illusion that all these things are ours to command, we chain ourselves to endless disappointment. The truth is, there is a narrow space of control given to us: our thoughts, our choices, our actions. That space is small, but within it lies enormous power. When you focus on your own actions, you claim authority over your life. You cannot make the world bend to your will, but you can bend your will to the world. You cannot stop someone from speaking ill of you, but you can choose not to let their words dictate your mood. You cannot stop the storm, but you can steer the ship. The mistake most people make is to fight the storm itself, to rage against circumstances, to curse the sky. But storms do not answer curses, and life does not answer anger. Life moves as it will. The wise learn to move with it. Imagine the freedom of letting go of what you cannot hold. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you could waste your peace in shouting, or you could release it. Their driving is theirs, your calm is yours. When a colleague criticizes you unfairly, you could argue and stew in resentment, or you could focus on your own conduct, your own integrity. Their words are theirs, your response is yours. To live otherwise is to hand out pieces of yourself to anyone who annoys you. You become a puppet, pulled by the strings of strangers. But to live by control of self is to cut those strings and walk with dignity. This is not weakness, it is strength. Many believe that reacting fiercely is power, but in truth, it is slavery to impulse. Real power is restraint. Real power is to remain steady while others shake. Real power is to govern yourself so firmly that no one else governs you. That is why controlling what you can is not about shrinking your life, it is about expanding it. The less energy wasted on what is beyond you, the more energy you have to shape what is within you. The world is vast, unpredictable, and often unfair. You cannot stop it from being so. But you can master yourself, and that mastery is the only mastery worth having. The moment you learn to distinguish between what is yours to command and what is not, peace enters. The moment you release the need to dominate everything outside yourself, freedom arrives. Detach from insults and opinions, for what people say is just sound unless you give it meaning. The world is filled with voices, some soft, some harsh, some careless, some cruel. They come at you from strangers, acquaintances, even those close to you. They offer their judgments, their labels, their insults, their praise. If you allow every word to pierce you, you will live not as yourself but as a reflection of the crowd. To be free, you must remember that words, by themselves, carry no weight. They are vibrations in the air, empty until your mind decides to make them heavy. When someone insults you, they reveal more of themselves than of you. A bitter tongue is a mirror of a bitter heart. Why should you take their poison and drink it willingly? To be offended is to cooperate with the one who offends. You take their sound, turn it into meaning, and then wound yourself with it. But if you refuse to grant meaning, the insult dies where it was spoken, powerless. It fades into the air, nothing more than noise. The dog barking at the moon does not trouble the moon, and the moon never lowers itself to bark back. Consider also the weight of opinions. One person says you are wise, another says you are foolish. One person praises your work, another tears it apart. If you rise with the praise and sink with the criticism, you give your happiness to others to control. Opinions change with the weather, and people see through the lens of their own moods, their own biases, their own limits. What they say may have nothing to do with the truth of who you are. To be swayed by every voice is to live as a leaf in the wind, never steady, always pulled. To detach is to stand firm, grounded in your own principles. Detachment does not mean arrogance or ignoring all feedback. It means listening with clarity, separating what is useful from what is useless, and discarding the rest without anger. A craftsman may take note of advice that improves his skill, but he does not crumble under insults. A leader may hear criticism, but he does not lose himself in the noise of public opinion. To live with detachment is to hold a shield against the arrows of words, taking only what helps you grow and letting the rest fall harmlessly to the ground. The discipline of detachment is the discipline of inner peace. No one has the right to dictate how you feel unless you give them that right. To hand over your peace because of a careless remark is to trade gold for dust. The more you realize that words are only sounds, the stronger you become. The more you refuse to let insults define you, the freer you stand. And the more you detach from both praise and criticism, the closer you come to living by your own truth, untouched and unshaken. Choose response over reaction, for you can't always stop events, but you can stop yourself from being ruled by them. Life presents endless triggers, unexpected turns, and moments that provoke strong emotions. A harsh word from a colleague, a setback in your plans, a sudden disappointment, all of these tempt you to react in haste. Reaction is immediate, impulsive, and often destructive. It is the snapping reply, the raised voice, the rash decision. It feels powerful in the moment, but often leaves regret in its wake. To choose response instead is to insert wisdom into the space between stimulus and action. It is to claim mastery over yourself rather than surrendering to the chaos of the moment. When you react, you are a servant of impulse. You allow anger, fear, or pride to seize control. You give away your freedom to emotion. But when you respond, you are deliberate. You take a breath, you pause, you weigh the situation, and then you act with intention. This small pause is the difference between peace and turmoil, between clarity and confusion. The world may throw storms at you, but you need not become the storm yourself. The storm outside does not have to create a storm inside. Think of a fire sparked by a single match. If you react without thought, you may add fuel, and the fire spreads uncontrollably. But if you respond with calm, you extinguish it before it grows. In this way, many conflicts in life are not decided by what happens but by how you choose to meet it. The insult itself is small, the inconvenience minor, the disappointment temporary, but the way you handle it determines whether it becomes a burden that weighs on your mind or a lesson that strengthens it. Choosing response is not about suppressing your feelings but about guiding them. It is the practice of self-governance. You acknowledge the emotion, but you do not let it dictate your action. Anger can rise, but you need not strike. Fear can whisper, but you need not flee. Sadness can linger, but you need not drown in it. Instead, you channel each feeling with clarity, allowing your reason to lead rather than your impulse. This balance is what gives you strength and stability in a world that will never bend to your desires. Events are beyond your control, but your choices are always yours. People may try to provoke you, life may disappoint you, circumstances may challenge you, yet none of these can rule you unless you let them. To choose response is to hold firm to your principles when the world tempts you to abandon them. It is to remain steady when others fall into chaos. It is to live with dignity rather than regret. In every situation you face, the question is not what happened but how you will answer, and that answer is the measure of your freedom. See offense as a test, not an attack, for every irritation is training for your inner strength. Life does not shield you from rudeness, criticism, or provocation. People will insult, situations will frustrate, and the world will present you with endless opportunities to lose your calm. Yet, within each offense lies a choice, to see it as an enemy to fight or as an exercise to strengthen yourself. The person who offends you is not a master of your mood unless you make them one. Instead, they can become a teacher, though they never intended to be. Their harshness gives you the chance to practice patience, their disrespect the chance to practice dignity, their hostility the chance to practice restraint. When you shift your perspective from attack to test, you take back your power. What once provoked you now becomes an opportunity to grow. Just as muscles grow under resistance, character grows under irritation. If you wish to be strong, you cannot demand a life free from struggle. You must embrace struggle as the ground where your strength is forged. Each offense is like weight placed on your spirit. Lift it with calm, and you grow stronger. Refuse to lift it, and you remain weak, always controlled by others. Consider how often small irritations steal peace. A careless driver, a rude comment online, a dismissive gesture, these seem minor, yet they stir storms within. But if you reframe them as tests, they lose their sting. The driver tests your patience, the comment tests your detachment, The gesture tests your pride. If you pass, you keep your peace. If you fail, you learn where you still need discipline. In both cases, you gain something. No attack can truly harm you if you use it as training. This perspective transforms daily life. Instead of dreading conflict or offense, you begin to welcome it as practice. Every time you resist the pull of anger, you prove to yourself that you are not a slave to impulse. Every time you remain calm while others provoke, you harden your resilience. Every time you let go of pride in the face of insult, you sharpen your wisdom. Others may believe they have injured you, but in truth, they have only provided you the chance to grow. Even great challenges can be seen this way. Betrayal, injustice, or rejection may sting deeply, but even these can be reframed as higher tests. They ask more of you: greater patience, deeper forgiveness, stronger endurance. If you see them as attacks, you will drown in bitterness. If you see them as tests, you will rise through them, each one shaping you into someone unshakable. The world will not stop offending, irritating, or disappointing. People will not cease to test your calm, whether they mean to or not. But your task is not to change them, it is to train yourself. Offense is inevitable, but suffering from it is optional. Each test is a chance to prove your strength, each irritation a step in your training. The more you welcome these moments as lessons, the more unbreakable your inner peace becomes.